Okay, Book of Obadiah. So we have the Book of Obadiah. In the Book of Obadiah, God is going to the nation of Edom. And Edom is from the descendants of Esau. And they haven't been very nice to their brother. They've done a lot of things that God has problems with, right? So God's going to deal with them. Actually, there's a lot of punishment coming out against Edom. But before their punishment, God does show them why this punishment is coming. And so we can learn from this and know that we also can use this example to help our brother and sister, even if they're in the wrong, even if we're not liking them too much, right? So anyway, let's get into it. This saith the Lord concerning Edom. Um, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Rise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So they were called into battle, right? Um, they were called in to help, right? Jerusalem. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised, right? So even in the sight of a heathen, their nation is despised. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. So they're really swelled up. They really think they're something else. Thou that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation, and you can tell this is their pride, whose habitation is high, that setteth in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So they don't think they're touchable. They're mighty, right? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, right? So we have a bird, and so they think they're the messengers of God. They think they're just a guiding light, right? And though thou set thou nest among the stars, see, they think their home is among the stars where they can guide people and shine light over here and tell you how wrong you are over there. They're really puffed up. And here we go. God He never has liked the puffed up people, the prideful people who just love to show you how you're doing everything wrong, right? Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If these came to thee, if robbed by night, would they not have stolen till they had enough? See, he's trying to see that they're not invincible. They're just a man. And they puffed them up pretty high. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? So they didn't have no sympathy for their brother here. None. And God's going to get into this. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sopped up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. So here he's talking about they watched Jerusalem and its capture, right? The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. So they have helped the enemy. And this was the cuts that they're going to receive, There is none understanding in him, right? 8. Now, so if I can get this up a little bit. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mounts Esau, right? So here we go, And thy mighty men, O 10, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So this nation is going to be slaughtered, and it was in history. Now, that's a hard judgment, but watch what Esau and this Edom did to his brother, right? Um, For thy violence against thy brother, Jacob's shame shall cover thee. So, what is the covering, this blood covering, or this violent covering that's going to come over their nation, right? It was the violence that against thy brother's Jacob's shame, right? And thou shalt be cut off forever, right? So there's no coming back from this, right? 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the stranger carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast one of them. So after the capture of Jerusalem, they went in and casted lots for items, not even caring about their brother at all, but looking for the wealth, you know. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that became a stranger, right? Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. So their mindset here was, uh, they were glad that this destruction came upon their brother. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress, right? Um, it's just, there was no sympathy for their brother Jacob at all, or the nation here. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of thy people in the day of calamity, right? So they went in to watch this destruction. Thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of calamity. So they went in and watched, and then they started robbing. Neither shouldest they have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. So the people who had escaped, right, the hands of Nebuchadnezzar, they blocked them from escaping. Neither shouldest they have delivered up those of his that did remain in the days of distress. So they captured. They were well in bed with Nebuchadnezzar and his armies. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done. It shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy head, thy own head. So there you go. Pretty rough when you stand in the way of your brother and deliver him unto destruction here. And this is what Esau did. Esau's nation here. 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain. Okay, so they knew better. The understanding of God was within them and around them. They knew better. So shall the heathen drink continuously. They shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. So, man. So, those people are going to suffer hard. But upon Mount Zion, okay, so this Mount Zion, I haven't done a study on Mount Zion, but Jesus brought Mount Zion, and it here is foretold, right? So need to really do that study. You can see Mount Zion in Hebrews chapter 12. and it's the mountain of rejoicement, the angels singing of holiness, happiness, being restored, and a mountain of peace. So it's a you know. So here we have the salvation of Jacob, right, and the victory of Jacob that's going to come upon Jacob's house. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, right? And our deliverer lives. And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession, right? And the house of Jacob shall be a fire. So Jesus talks about kindling a fire and how he wished it was already here. And the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. So it's going to be burned up. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining in the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Right. 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau. Right. So Esau is going to be taken over. And they of the plains in the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, right? And the captive of the host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even to Zephron, and the captive of Jerusalem, which is in the shepherds, shall possess the city of the south, and shall come up on the Mount Zion to judge. So the survivors here, right, is going to come up upon the mount of Esau to judge them. And the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So this is a little preview of the understanding of Christ and what Christ was to bring.